Hi, my name's Mark and welcome to Membership Websites. So I do get a lot of feedback from people in terms of issues that they've had with their directory. And one of the main issues that I come across is that their members are not completing the address fields correctly. They're either not completing them at all, or they are going straight to the address fields and entering the address manually without selecting it from the search field above, which means that the address isn't always geocoding into the system. So we're going to show you a workaround and maybe some prompts that you can provide your members when prompting them to type their address in. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go to the back end of the website and we're going to go to My Members and Search Members. We're going to log in as a member and we're going to go to Basic Information. Now, when people are typing in their address, what they tend to do is they tend to go to these boxes down here and they bypass this search field. Now, if they use the search field up here, then it will geocode the address into the system, where if they don't and they enter it manually down here, it might not geocode correctly into the system, or they might miss part of the required address out, like the postal code or zip code or something like that. So what we need to do is we need to encourage our members to use a search bar just up here. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do this. Quite often when people say that they've had issues with this and when members not putting in their address, I open up their website and I look at their basic information form and I see this and I say to myself, well, there's no wonder they're not typing in the address in the search field because nothing's telling them to do it. So let's have a look at this. Let's go to your forms and we're going to customize the contact details form. So we're going to go to Toolbox and Form Manager. We're going to find the contact details form. And then what we're going to do is it's the contact details member form we want to customize. We're going to customize it. Now, because we want what we're going to do to apply to all our memberships, we're not going to rename the form. We're just going to customize the default form. Obviously, if you're adding different things to your forms per membership level, then I would recommend that you customize the contact details form for each membership level. But for something like the address, you want all of your members to complete the address the same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to where the address field is. So we've got the title just here, contact where you are located. So that's a variable which is pulling the title, where are you located. We're going to add an instruction just below that. So we're going to add a new field. We're going to turn this into a HTML field. And then we're going to drop some code just in here. Now, what you can do in order to get this code is if you're not familiar with coding, you can use ChatGPT. It will knock something out for you. Or you can just put some text and just type text, give an instruction. It does look nicer if it's in a banner and stuff like that. So we're just going to drop a bit of code just in this section here. And we are going to put in a database variable. So I'm just going to put in tip. I'll put tip 1 in just in case there's already a tip in. So we're going to save that. And then we're going to take you down to the preview again so you can just have a look at what's been put in there. So we're down to this section now. Where are you located? Please use the search field below, type in your address and select it from the options provided. Now, if we go here and refresh this, we can see now that there's a clear field there with a caution triangle saying that you need to use this search box below. Now, what you might do is reword the placeholder that's being used here. So what we're going to do is see if we can find the placeholder. So that's the next step to help our consumers, our visitors, our businesses enter their address. So to do that, we're going to go back to the website. we're going to go to settings, and I'm going to open text labels in a new window because I want to come back to this form. We then need to search for the text that's been used here. So we're going to type in enter a location and see if the text comes up. Enter a location. So we're just going to scroll down here, and we can see the enter a location. This is what's being used. So when I change this, the first start of it, instead of having enter a location, we're going to put type your address here. I'm just going to make sure we're using the correct spelling. So we're going to type your address here. I'm going to put 3 dots after it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out part of this address. Let me just see. So I've took out part of the address and I've put some dots there. Let's just save this, and then you'll see what it looks like when I refresh the page. So it now says, so we're saying, please use the search field below, type in your address and select it from the options provided. So now we've got type your address here, ... 350 5th, and it's as if we've started to write the word avenue. So what I'm trying to do is try and encourage the person to click the cursor in here and start typing their address. Now, what they might still do is they might still go down here to this section here. So there's something else that I'm going to do now, and we're going to go back to the form to do that. So we're going to scroll back down to the address fields, and we're going to find address 1. So there's the variable for it. So this is the top line of the address. This is address line 1, which is just here. We're going to go down here. I'm going to take the placeholder optional out. And in the additional field CSS, I'm just going to type in read only. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to address 2. And we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to take out the optional help text, and I'm typing in read only. Then we're going to go down to the city, which is just here. And again, I'm going to put read only. Let me spell it right, otherwise it won't work. Read only. Then we're going to go down to the state in, and then I'm going to put read only. Then we're going to scroll down a little bit further, country in. Country is a read only anyway, I do believe. Let me just have a look. Yeah, state and country are read only anyway, so you don't actually have to do it for state and country, because it will be automatically assigned. So the postal code or zip code is the last one, and we're just going to make that again in the CSS read only. Now, what we might do is we might copy the help text that's being used here, and then we might place that in the address 1 and 2 help text fields. So let me just scroll back up here again to so this is address 1, so I'm going to drop that in there. This is address 2, so again in the find help text I'm just pasting that in. This is the city, I'm going to paste that in there. It's already showing the location tooltip in the state. In the country, it's already showing that as well. And then I'm going to take out this postal code tooltip, and I'm going to replace that with the text again. So we're going to go here, and we're going to refresh that. Now, what we've done now is we've told the user that these are automatically assigned based on the location you input above the map. Now, we want to make sure they don't bypass this field, and one of the most important fields, probably I would say out of all of these, is the postcode. So we're going to go back to the form again. We're going to scroll up to the postcode field. I'm just going to find the postcode field. It's somewhere here. There it is. And I'm going to make that a required field. Now, what that will mean is it will mean that the person has to enter their address up here. for them to be able to continue on this form. That form will not save if they've not put their address up here because they've not entered the postcode. When you refresh the page, you'll see there's a red asterisk there, and that's because that is a required field. So if the minimum amount of information they put in is the postal code, then that's good because that's going to geocode it into the system. Okay. So it's really important to try and encourage your members to put in their address so that they're geocoded into the system, and their location then will be picked up when people are doing location searches for businesses on the website. So it's a really useful tip, and you could make it look a lot nicer than this. We've just done this for speed. So again, we're using the read-only CSS in order to block out boxes that we don't want them to fill out, and then encouraging them to use a type box. One other tip that I would say about the address as well is there is quite a bit of information here, and you don't need to have all this information visible. So for example, if I was a directory and I was based in a country and I only covered a single country, let's say, for example, the United Kingdom, then I wouldn't be displaying this. I would hide that because there's too much information here, and that can be overwhelming for people as well. So I would have the bare minimum information. And again, I might hide address line 2, and I might even hide state, especially in the United Kingdom. I would say the city town is more important. So for the United Kingdom, I might just have address line 1 visible, city visible, and postcode visible and required. You'll find if you do this, you'll get a better response from the people that are completing the forms in terms of filling out the address fields properly and therefore being geocoded into the system correctly. I hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching.